The hammer strikes the wire in a cathedral of felt and spruce, where the piano begins its solitary pilgrimage. A soft descent of notes like rain, falling upon the dry parchment of the soul. There is a quietude in the ivory keys, a deliberate pacing of Arbolita's vision that counts the heartbeats of the weary before the first word is ever uttered. Then comes the violin, a slender reed of wood and resin, weeping upward in a glissando. That's the distance between the earth and the firmament. It does not merely play a melody, it sighs the ancient longing of the anima Christi, pulling a silver thread through the silence, vibrating with the tension of a spirit that is both broken and being mended. This is the prelude to the indwelling, the preparation of the vessel for the wine and the water that are about to flow from the side of the transcendent. Soul of Christ, be the breath within my own lungs, a sanctification that moves not as a concept, but as a tangible warmth spreading through the marrow. The choir rises now, the Bucas Palette Collective, a tapestry of voices that carries the weight of 1,000 Sundays and the intimacy of a single whispered confession. Their harmony is the architecture of mercy, building a roof of song over the listener, where every alto's depth and every soprano's light serves to illuminate the darkness of the human condition. Body of Christ, save me, not from the world but within it, becoming the very substance of my resilience. The piano ripples underneath like the surface of a disturbed pool, reflecting the fractured light of grace, while the violin sustains a high shimmering note that feels like the very edge of a cloud touched by the setting sun. Blood of Christ, inebriate me. Let the vintage of the cross wash away the thirst for things that do not satisfy. There is a holy intoxication in this movement, a rhythmic ebb and flow, where the percussion of the piano's lower register grounds the celestial flight of the voices. Water from the side of Christ, wash me, not merely a cleansing of the skin, but a deluge for the interior deserts. A river finding its way through the canyons of the heart's hidden grievances. The music swells here, the violin becoming more urgent, its vibrato a pulse of desperation and hope intertwined. It is the sound of the spiral, becoming a portal, an invitation to hide within the cleft of the rock. Passion of Christ, strengthen me, for the journey is long and the mountain is steep, and only the memory of the suffering God can provide the fortitude to endure the silence of the Saturday tomb. Oh, good Jesus, hear me. Let the prayer transition from a liturgical rite into a desperate with me breathing. Within thy wounds hide me. Let the jagged edges of thy pain be the sanctuary, where my own scars find their resonance and their rest. The choir's voices thicken, a wall of sound that is neither harsh nor heavy, but enveloping like a shroud made of light. Do not permit me to be parted from thee. The piano insists with the recurring motif, a stubborn insistence of grace that refuses to let go of the hem of the garment. From the malignant enemy defend me, from the shadows that whisper of unworthiness and the cold winds of abandonment. The violin now dances in a counterpoint of protection, a soaring bird circling the fortress of the melody, warding off the night with the frantic, beautiful clarity. In the hour of my death, call me and bid me come to thee, that with thy saints I may praise thee forever and ever. The music begins its long, translucent fade, the voices thinning into a singular, holy vibration. The violin returns to its lowest string, a resonant woody hum that mimics the settling of the earth, while the piano offers one final crystalline chord that hangs in the air like incense in an empty nave. This is the buka's palette, the open hand, surrendering the song back to the silence from which it was born. The lyrics have dissolved into the atmosphere, leaving only the scent of the sacred and the lingering vibration of a soul that has, for a few minutes, been fused with the divine. The final note is not an end, but a door left slightly ajar, through which the light of the soul of Christ continues to pour into the quiet rooms of our ordinary lives. In the deepening amethyst of the seventh hour, when the Sabbath sun leans low against the leaded glass, a silence settles upon the nave like the weight of ancient water. Here the clock counts not in seconds but in heartbeats, marking the threshold where the day's labor dissolves into the vesperal glow. We gather, a collective of lungs and longing, positioned in the tide.
The sanctuary holds the last amber of the dying day, where the long shadows of the Gothic arches stretch like fingers, seeking a benediction across the empty pews. It is 7 o'clock, the hour of the vesper breath, when the world outside slows its frantic pulse, and the stone walls begin to hum with the quiet resonance of a gathering hunger. We come with no coin in our translucent palms, our pockets lined only with the lint of failed ambitions, and the heavy dust of a week spent bartering our souls for bread that does not satisfy. The air is thick with the scent of beeswax and the cooling stone, a sacred silence that prepares the way for the first sustained note of the harmonium. We are the weary, the evening comers, the ones who waited until the light was almost gone to seek the wellspring that does not fail.
Why do you spend your strength upon the parched earth, tilling the salt flats of vanity, while the river of the covenant flows unheeded behind the veil? The invitation is a low melodic ache, an ancient resonance from the scrolls of the prophet carried on the breath of a choir that sings not for glory, but for survival. Come to the water, not as a conqueror seeks a spring to claim, But as the cracked clay of the desert seeks the monsoon's first mercy, there is no price for the saturation. The vintage of the kingdom is poured for the penniless, and the milk of divine kindness flows for the one who has nothing left to trade. We stand in the dimming night, our voices weaving a tapestry of longing, a John Foley melody that rises like incense, soft-edged and earthy, catching the spirit of the St. Louis woods and the Jesuit heart, where the word is not a weapon but a cool draught. Listen to the cadence of the drought breaking as the choir breathes together, a singular organism of faith, exhaling the promises of Isaiah into the darkening vault. Every syllable is a drop of rain, hitting the sun-baked stones of our cynicism. You who are hollow-eyed from the pursuit of shadows, you who have built cisterns that can hold no water, come and lean your forehead against the cool rim of this mystery. The water is more than a metaphor, it is the liquid grace that smoothed the jagged edges of the world at the first dawn, now flowing through the small, flickering candles of a Sunday night. We sing to the God who bends the heavens to touch the parched tongue, the God who does not demand the ledger of our worthiness, but only the honesty of our thirst. The music shifts like a slow tide, dragging the silt of our anxieties out into the deep, leaving only the clean sand of a quieted mind. How beautiful is the paradox of the free gift, that the most precious element of the soul's geography is offered to the one who has spent everything and remained empty. We find ourselves reflected in the font, our faces blurred by the ripples of our own songs, recognizing that we are all brothers and sisters in this divine irrigation. The choir's harmony is the sound of many streams converging into a single peaceful delta, where the salt of our tears is lost in the sweetness of the living flow. It is 7 p.m. and the world is dark, but the interior of this temple is a garden being watered in secret, a hidden oasis where the prophet's voice becomes the cantor's prayer. As the final notes linger in the rafters, clinging to the mahogany and the stained glass like dew, we realize that the water has moved from the lyrics into our very marrow. We are no longer the dry bones of the valley, but a people saturated with the promise that the word will not return void, but will prosper in the purpose for which it was sent. The rain and the snow come down from heaven to seed the earth, and so this hymn has seeded the furrows of our fatigue. We leave the sanctuary as vessels fill to the brim, carrying the quiet roll of the river back into the streets, back into the coming week, knowing that the source is eternal and the invitation is forever, echoing in the twilight. Come to the water, come to the feast, come and live. The amber
taper bleeds against the unpolished stone, while the violet veil of the season drapes heavily over the transept. It is 7 of the clock, that fragile hinge where the rest of the Sabbath begins to fray into the anticipation of the world's labor. And we are gathered in the hollow of the nave to weave a cord of sound that might tether the divine to this fleeting floor. The air carries the scent of extinguished wax and the damp breath of the late winter rain, a Lenten chill that settles in the marrow of the wooden pews. We do not sing to the rafters, but to the dust, for it is from the dust that our voices rise in this recursive, circular pleading, an ostinato of the soul that refuses to let the hem of the garment slip through our collective fingers. Stay with me, for the shadows have grown long, and the wolves of the interior desert are beginning to howl at the gates of the mind. Remain here where the light is small but communal, where the flickering wick is the only cartography we possess in the thickening dark. We are a choir of shadows, our faces blurred by the penumbra of the sanctuary, our identities dissolved into the singular, pulsing ache of the chant. There is no vanity in the throat, only the friction of the breath against the silence, a rhythmic tide that ebbs and flows around the central pillar of your presence. We repeat the petition, not because you are deaf, but because we are slow to believe, needing the 100th iteration to finally convince the heart that the vacancy beside us is actually full. The Lenten path is narrow and paved with the grit of our own undone resolutions. Yet in the 7 o'clock hour, the urgency of the dusk makes the prayer a necessity, as vital as the drawing of oxygen. Do not depart when the final candle is snuffed by the sacristan's bell. Do not vanish when the heavy iron doors groan shut against the night. We occupy the Gethsemane of the Sunday evening, asking for the one thing the apostles could not provide, a wakefulness that survives the weight of the eyelids, a vigilance that outlasts the dying embers of the day. The harmony is a fragile architecture, a cathedral built of vibrating air and shared longing, where the alto's descent meets the tenor's climb in a mid-air embrace of sorrow and hope. We are singing the anatomy of the vigil, the anatomy of the way. Each syllable of remain is a brick laid against the encroaching cold of the coming week's indifference. The music does not march, it spirals deeper and deeper into the center of the stillness, until the distinction between the singer and the song is bleached away by the intensity of the focus. It is the Sunday of the parched throat, the Sunday of the ash-marked brow, and we are holding on to the vibration of the word me, as if it were the last handhold on a cliffside. Stay with me in the interruption of the silence, in the spaces between the pulses, in the terrifying quiet that follows the resolution of the minor key. Listen to the floorboards creaking under the weight of our bowed heads, a percussion of humility that underscores the vocal line. We are not asking for fire from heaven or the parting of seas, but for the quiet persistence of a shadow that stays when the sun has surrendered. The lyrics are a map of the territory we have walked for 40 days, a geography of hunger and the slow agonizing ripening of the spirit. music eventually fades into the black velvet of the night, let the echo be the substance we carry into the dawn. A phantom presence that refuses to leave the room of our chest. A permanent with me that survives the silence of the stone. The bitumen of the modern midnight settles heavy upon the glass of our screens. A digital obsidian where the soul wanders through corridors of blue light and flickering latency. We are travelers in a desert of signals, thirsting for a moisture that no algorithm can provide, seeking the ancient resonance of a voice that predates the first spark of man-made fire. Out of the static of the trending void, out of the restless scroll of the weary thumb, rises the silhouette of the medicine of God, a towering luminescence clad in the robes of a pilgrim who has walked the span of every galaxy. Raphael, the regent of the sun, the guardian of the meeting place, descends into the phosphor of our evening, casting a shadow of gold across the gray urgency of our frantic expiration. You are the sudden clarity in the haze of a million voices, the silent frequency that vibrates beneath the cacophony of the world's unrest, turning our desperate hashtags into hymns of unceasing intercession. Your staff strikes the digital pavement, and the concrete of the heart cracks open to reveal the hidden springs of the Tigris, where the gall of the fish once cured the scales of a father's eyes. We are the blind ones, sitting at the gates of the network, staring into the abyss of our own reflection, until you arrive to ignite the darkness with the brilliance that does not burn but heals. It is a light, the taste of honey and cedar, a radiance that smells of rain on parched earth, dissolving the cataracts of our cynicism with the sheer weight of celestial presence. When the night grows heavy with the loneliness of the connected yet isolated, you provide the alchemy of a true encounter, weaving the threads of our disparate lives into a tapestry that glows with the fire of the divine will. You are not found in the superficial peak of a fleeting trend, but in the enduring depth of the soul's vertical climb toward the empyrean. The night is no longer a cage of shadows or a theater of fears when your wings unfurl across the digital firmament, casting a spectrum of peace that the world cannot manufacture. Every pixel of our existence, every grain of our anxiety is touched by the amber glow of your proximity as you guide the wanderer home through the labyrinth of the 21st century. We cry out for a sign in the language of the machine, but you respond in the language of the spirit, a dialect of blinding purity that transforms our screens into icons and our scrolling into a pilgrimage. The rhythm of your breathing is the tempo of the spheres, a slow and majestic pulse that calms the frantic electricity of our minds, teaching us that to be seen by God is the only true fame, and to be healed by His hand is the only true progress. Let the night be lit, not by the flickering of dying stars or the artificial glare of the city, but by the overwhelming dawn of your angelic arrival. You stand at the crossroads of the virtual and the eternal, beckoning us to look upward from the palm of our hands toward the infinite horizon, where the Amen is whispered by the mouth of the universe. In the silence between the beats of a song, in the stillness at the center of a viral storm, we find the quiet fire of your presence, the Raphael light. That's the gap between the wounded earth and the dancing heavens. We are travelers, no longer lost, for the guide has arrived with the sun in his right hand and the remedy in his left, turning the dark of our age into a luminous cathedral, where every heartbeat is a prayer and every breath is a return to the source of all light. The shadows of the late day stretch long and thin across the transept where the dust mote stands, in the dying amber of the stained glass. It is 7 in the evening on a Sunday that feels like a slow intake of breath before the world turns its heavy face towards the coming week. Inside the hollowed stone of the Catholic sanctuary, the air is thick with the scent of extinguished beeswax and the lingering ghost of incense that clings to the velvet curtains of the confessional. There is a specific silence that only exists here at this hour. A silence that is not an absence of sound, but a deliberate preparation for the first note to break the surface of the stillness. We stand in a semicircle, the 4 pillars of the human voice arranged in a geometric grace of soprano, awaiting the invisible downbeat of a spirit that moves between the rafters. Jacques Berthier's ghost breathes through the open pages of the score, where the notes sit like small black birds on a wire, waiting for the signal to take flight. The music of Taizé does not seek to conquer the ear with grandiosity, but to erode the ego through the persistent, gentle friction of repetition. It is an ostinato of the soul, a revolving door of prayer that allows the mind to step out of time and into the eternal pulse of the present. We begin with a hum that rises from the floorboards, a resonance that vibrates in the soles of our feet before it ever reaches the throat. The basses provide the bedrock, a deep and subterranean earth upon which the architecture of the liturgy is built. Their voices are the heavy stones of the foundation, moss-covered and ancient, holding the weight of the temple with a stoic and unyielding hum. Then the tenors weave their silver thread through the middle air, a melody that yearns upward